So let's see, not the last time, but one of the last times you and I spoke, your position about couples choice was legal sex clubs should not be able to operate in town. Has that changed, your position?
No, it has not.
We were there recently, and they told us, hey, they got a court order saying it can be used as a residence, and they're not operating a business. They don't need a business license. Hey, they're just throwing a house party. What do you say?
Actually, it's the city of Markham's court order, and they are still operating a business. That is not a residence. It's not designed as a residence. It's designed as a nightclub.
You mean inside, the way it's set up?
Yes.
Tommy, tell me about that a little bit. I mean, what's the distinction here?
Well, you have a full bar. You have soft drink beverages. You got a pole for pole dancing. It's outfitted with multiple beds. There's no bedroom. There's no kitchen. Even the bathrooms have placards for male and female. It's clearly set up to be a club. And in fact, they call it a club. Just to say that this is our residence, it's not enough. You can't just say it's a residence, and we obviously see that it's functioning as a club, and it's for profit.
So really you guys are on two sides of the line here. They say, hey, just a house. You guys say, no, this is a business. They just want to do these parties, but you're saying that's not happening, right?
No, it's not happening. If you are having a party at a residence, that has its limitations as well. But this is clearly beyond the scope of just a residential party.
And tell me about that, right? You guys have seen online postings asking for donations, things of that nature, which would indicate to you that this is being run as a club.
So they're basically trying to fool someone into believing that this is a residence. It's not. They do have online advertising, and there's a $60 membership fee, but they accept donations, and then there's an application process, so we know.
That was good. They told us when we talked to them, more or less, you guys are out there harassing them. They were saying to us, hey, listen, we're not bothering anybody. These are consenting adults, they're partner swapping, they're doing their thing, the police are messing with us. Can't you guys just leave us alone like you used to? What do you say?
So there is no harassment. This is the Markham Police Department enforcing our local ordinances, and they're in violation of our local ordinance.
Going forward, they were pretty defiant. They're like, hey, I go back to the court order again. We have a court order, says we can operate as a residence. We're going to continue to throw house parties. I mean, you would say what?
I'll say that the court order specifically says that you must obey the local ordinances, and they are not.
That night, on a recent night, it looks like 2 people got arrested, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Not too much, because it's now a pending matter in criminal court, but yes, we did make 2 arrests at that location.
The nature of the charges? I mean, anything? I don't want to take anything more than you
obstructing
say,
justice. They were attempting to defeat the detection of an obvious crime.
How did you guys get tipped off that there was a party going on there Saturday? Is that anything you can talk about?
Well, since our first airing, I've been getting notifications, mostly anonymously, about continuations of these club events, and they are charging. There's a huge safety issue that it's my responsibility to make sure that people that enter into these borders are safe. I do believe that that is an unsafe premise, and somebody's going to get hurt.
We're told they tell us anywhere on an average party night or an average night, you're talking about 50 couples. You're talking about over 100 people. Outside of a potential fire, which I think you brought up, is, somebody voices a concern. I mean, large groups of people like that together, what goes through your head as chief of police when you see something like that? You're going,
first and foremost, there's no safety plan. There's no exits in case a fire does break out. We need 2 exits. There's a plan in place where if you want to host an event like that, it's special use permits. The defiance of these individuals is just paramount. You have to come to the table and sit down and figure out, how do I have this event that I want to have? And then what's the safety parameters? How do I make it safe for the patrons coming in here?
It feels to me a little bit like we're on a collision course, right? I mean, you guys are here, they're here. I mean, how do you see this playing out?
Well, currently I am planning on to go back to court before the judge that issued that order. Maybe we can get a contempt of court.
And say, hey, you believe they're violating the order.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, you really don't believe what they say about, hey, this is just a house, and hey, I'm just throwing a party.
No reasonable person would believe that that's a residence.
Anything else? I'm trying to think if they mentioned anything else to us.
Cameron just kept on saying he's just throwing a party at his house.
One more question. I mean, they said, because I think this was something that I think we plan to use, they believe that this is setting a dangerous precedent, and here it is, that, you know, Markham is basically the morality police, where you guys are making this decision that, you know, the mayor, you as the chief, hey, this is not what we want in town. And they are posing the question of, hey, where does it end? You know, if Markham doesn't like this, what if they don't like something else? Somebody else is doing it on and on and on. Is that a fair question on their part, fair criticism? I mean, tell me what goes through your mind when you hear that.
No, I don't think it's fair for them to say that. Me personally, as the chief of police, I care not what happens in there as long as it's lawful. What I do care about is that they're violating the city of Markham's ordinances, and I'm here to enforce that.
And that can't go on.
And that cannot go on.
Killed it. That was it.
Perfect.
That was a good bye. Thank you.
How you think that went?